Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I am here with kind of like a small unboxing of some art supplies. I was actually kindly sent all of these supplies that I'm going to show you from Arteza. They kindly reached out to me and asked if I want to try out some of their products and like do social posts and stuff like that. And I said hell yeah, because I love getting art supplies in exchange for like my honest opinion about them. So I'm actually really excited to try some of these guys out. Why? I've always wanted a really nice set of color pencils. Like I'm being completely honest here, the only type of color pencils that I've tried that are good, I guess, are Prismacolors. I had to use them when I was in illustration in school, so that's about it. My other color pencils are just like, just I guess crafty pencils like Crayola, Prang, Rose Art, just like random assortment of pencils. These are watercolor pencils. I do have a couple, I have a couple of the, oh my god, I suck at like brand names, especially when it comes to art supplies. The Derwit, I think that's the name of them. I think that's the name of them. I don't actually know where they are. But yeah, those I have a bunch of those watercolor pencils, and I think they suck. Um, those are the only watercolor pencils that I've ever tried, and they just didn't. They're good for being colored pencils, but when you apply water to them, they don't really like they don't get rich in color. They're not very pigmented and anything like that. And I just think I'm just like these kind of suck. And I'm pretty sure it's like I always thought that it was just like, oh, watercolor pencils kind of suck, but I'm pretty sure it's just those brand. But yes, so I'm really super excited to be trying these watercolor pencils out because yeah, I'm just excited about it. So what I have here, let me just show you like what they sent me. I have 4 things to show. I have the water brushes here. I have the expert watercolor pencils. I have the 72 case. I have the gouache colors, and so these are the premium gouache, and they're 24. It's a set of 24. And then they sent me one of their watercolor pads. They sent me this one, which I think is like the one that comes by itself, only because it's the expert watercolor pad. It's 14 sheets, and this one says it's 100% cotton, and it's cold press. So yeah, I'm really excited to try this out. I kind of want a disclaimer here and say that I am not really picky when it comes to my art supplies. I mean, I am like those Derwit watercolor pencils. I think they're called Derwit. I should actually look this up because I could be saying like the completely wrong brand name, and I'm sorry. But those pencils kind of suck. But generally, I'm not really picky about the art supplies that I use because I'm not really making art professionally, whatever the hell that means. I'm doing like art journals. I'm doing like mixed media art journals and maybe some sketching and stuff like that. So I'm not, I'm also not in the camp, like if you saw my really long rant while I was swatching watercolors, I'm not in the camp that you need the best art supplies to make the best art. I think there are some really talented people out there who can make art with the cheapest things, and that's just my mindset. So I really wanted to try Arteza because their whole entire motto is creating quality art supplies for artists at low prices, like at affordable prices. So I'm going to actually pull up the prices for each one of these things so that as I show you what I got here, I can tell you exactly how much they cost. So the first thing I have here are the water brushes, and I actually picked these out because if you go onto their website, they have a couple. I think they have like 3 different sets of water brushes, and the ones that they wanted to send me were the red ones. But I like, if you know anything about me, I'm all about aesthetic. I like how things look, and I just prefer the look of these better. Even though the other ones might be a better water brush, I don't know. But I just kind of prefer this look better. They were a lot, like, the barrel was a lot slimmer. The push button that you push the water out, in the red one, I think they're a little bit rounder. I just prefer everything to be slim and sleek because that's just how I roll. So, I know I sound really superficial, but that's just my personal preference. So you get 6 of them here, and I believe they're all different tips. Oops, they're all different tips. So like these are flat tips, and I think these are the round ones, and I think you get one of each. So you get a small, a medium, and a large of the round tips. Ooh, those caps are on hard. Yeah, you get a small, a medium, and a large tip of the round ones, and then for the flats, you get the same thing. These should be interesting to work with because I've never had, these are like the ones you make washes with. I never actually seen them in a water brush. I know Tim Holtz has one that's like a flat, but other than that, I've never seen a flat tip brush, water brush. So these should be really fun to use. I actually only use, I have a couple of water brushes, but I think I have 3, I think. 2 of them are Michaels, like the really cheapy ones from Michaels, and I do have a Kuretake water brush. I love this water brush. I got it at, no, did I get it at Japan's? I probably did get it at Japan's. And look, don't you just hate when the water brushes get all dirty like that? And that's just like, it's clean, it's just stained. But yeah, I really like this one. So these are, the barrels are actually a bit larger than my Kuretake water brush. So obviously they hold a lot more water. Does this actually say how much water does it hold? It actually does not say how much water it holds. I'm pretty sure on the listing on their site it probably says. Actually, I don't even know. I can't even find it on the listing. But it definitely holds more than my Kuretake water brush. So that is awesome. Because, you know, these, I mean, I use water brushes. I do use them when I'm home, but for the most part, I use them when I'm on the go and I'm taking watercolors and my journal or something with me on the go. I generally take my water brush and my watercolor palette when I travel and I want to have some watercolors on hand. So whenever I do my travel journals, when I go on these big long trips that I go on, I usually take this. So having a water brush with a bigger barrel holds more water, and that would be really nice. Even though this one's more of a convenient size, I think, but I can't wait to try these out. This set and the ones that are red, they're both the same price on the website. Currently, this is as I am filming this video, currently this set is $14.87, which I think is a great deal because this thing, I think this water brush is like, I know we have a Kinokuniya here in New York City, and this water brush is hella expensive at Kinokuniya. I think it's about $8. I don't know if that's the same price of it at JetPens where I bought it. JetPens tends to be a little bit cheaper than the Kinokuniya that's here, but at $8, and this whole set is like $15, and you get 6 of them, that is great. Hopefully they work really well. I mean, again, I'm not really picky about my art supplies, but like hopefully the brush doesn't like fray, because I know some like what nylon-y type brushes, they kind of fray if they're really cheap. But yeah, so I am definitely looking forward to using these, especially with all the watercolor stuff that I have. So let's move on to those watercolors. So I have, of course, the Expert watercolor pencils here. This is the 72 set, and I already like looked through this obviously because this is what I was most excited about, were the watercolor pencils. I have been wanting to get back into drawing, and the way that I learned illustration in school was with colored pencils. So that's just kind of like what I initially sort of gravitated to when I'm just like, oh, I want to start drawing again. Let's get some colored pencils. I have colored pencils. I have like 12 Prismacolors left, and they're all in different states of disarray. They're a hot mess. And then I have a bunch of like the crafty ones like Crayola and Praying and stuff like that. I did actually get myself a Jane Davenport magic wands. So I have the magic wand set, which is the 24 set. I picked this up at Michael's because all of her stuff was 50% off. So I got this. I got it 50% off, plus I had like an extra 25% off sale item coupon or whatever. So I got this for like $10, and I think this is like it goes for like 25 or something like that. So yeah, I picked it up for $10, and I haven't actually used them yet. I need to go ahead and swatch them out, and so I'm probably going to do that, and I'm going to swatch these out. I'll probably swatch them at the same time and just sort of kind of compare them both to what I have to my Prismas, like whatever Prismacolors that I have left. And yeah, so I picked out the watercolor pencils. So yeah, so I've been wanting a color pencil set. So when Arteza approached me with kind of picking out some things to try out and review and stuff like that, I decided to go with the watercolor pencil sets because you can use them as color pencils, and then they have the extra effect of adding water to them and they becoming like watercolors, and I thought that was really cool. So I believe the watercolor pencils, these professional watercolor pencils, only come in the 72 set. The color pencils, you have the option of a 72 set and I think like a 48 or maybe a 24 set. But for the watercolor pencils, they come in this set here. And this set, oh my god, this set currently on their website is $28.98 for this set, which I think is a great deal. Hopefully if they like work really well, then it's like a plus, because that is so cheap. Like it's affordable. That's, I mean, it's like around $30. I don't think $30 is cheap, but for art supplies, for a 72 set of watercolor pencils, that is really super affordable, and I really hope these guys work really well. I hope they work better than those other watercolor pencils that I have, and I'm going to do a separate video on like swatching these and trying them out and stuff like that, and I will be sure to find my watercolor pencils that I have and kind of match them up. And I'm pretty sure the ones that I have are like student grade, so they're not like the greatest, but yeah. So I already looked through these. I kind of I turned them all facing this way so we can see the names of them and everything. And there are 3 trays, so I'm just going to show you the 3 trays here. And the colors are so pretty. They're really, really pretty. And I really like how the pencil looks. So let's pick up this pink one. This pink one is called Peony. And so the barrel, like the actual pencil, is, what do you call it? Hexagonal, I guess. It's not like completely round. It has like the flat edges here. And it has the color of the pencil on it. And I know that that is sort of like debatable because when you go ahead and swatch it, the color might not match the barrel, but I like how the whole thing is supposedly supposed to be the color of the pencil lead. You have Arteza's name here, you have a nice little silver paintbrush here, and then of course the Expert. These are the Expert pencils. And then on the other side you have the name of the color, which this one is Peony, and then you have, I guess that's the number of the color pencil. And then here you have some plus signs, and I believe that's the light fastness of the pencil. And if I can find the tin is actually the tin. Does it have, I'm wondering if it has the, no, it just has the names and the numbers. It doesn't really have the light fast, like a chart or anything here. But I believe Arteza, their light fast chart is pluses, and it's from like one plus sign to 3 plus signs, even though there's a pencil in here that has 4 plus signs. This one, the fuchsia one, has 4 plus signs, but I think it's that. So one plus sign means that it's really bad, has really bad light fastness, and then I guess 4 is like the best. But yeah, so all the pencils have that on it, which I think is awesome. And again, if you heard my little rant about art supplies, I mean, light fastness is only if you want to make art to last. That's what it means. It's just how the light reflects onto the pigment, and over time, certain pigments will fade depending on their light fastness. So really, if you're just kind of using art as sort of like therapy and like meditative and like your piece, you're not intending it for it to last forever, then you can completely ignore the light fast ratings on certain things, because you're just using it just for expression and just to get your feelings out. And I know a lot of art journals, like we do that. If you're gonna use it to, like, I would say, sell your art, you kind of want your pigments, you want your art supplies to have better light fast ratings. So yeah, so these are the pencils. Again, I'm going to do a separate video going in depth, swatching them, telling you how I like them and stuff, and like how they work and stuff like that. But my first impression, I think this is like a fabulous little set. I love how the pencils look. I love how they have all the information on the pencil itself. I love that the barrel is like really nice and sleek. The one thing that I know some people might be really nitpicky about is that the back, you can't really see if the lead is centered or not, and that just affects when you go and sharpen it and stuff like that. That's the only thing, but I don't care. I actually prefer that this is capped off, because it looks better. And again, I'm very much about how things look, like the aesthetic of it. It just looks so much sleeker, and it's just so pretty. Anyway, those are the watercolor pencils, and I can't wait to try them out. I will leave all the links down below to all the 4 supplies that they sent me, so you can go check them out yourself. But again, I'm planning to do a separate video just on these watercolor pencils, and I'll probably use the water brushes as well with this set. So those are the watercolor pencils. The next thing I have here is the 24 Premium Gouache colors, and these are gouache paints. Another disclaimer here, I've never ever in my entire life used a gouache. I don't think I have. Like, I'm trying to think back to when I was in art school, and I'm pretty sure I've never used gouache. Basically what gouache is, it's just an opaque watercolor. At least that's what I describe it to everybody as. It's basically a water reactive paint that is very opaque. And you can water it down like watercolor. They normally come in tubes. And yeah, it's sort of like a bridge between watercolor and acrylic almost, except they're water reactive, whereas acrylic paint, once it dries, it you can't reactivate it. So this is the 24 set, and this is the premium, and I believe, oh my goodness, I believe you can only get them in 24, the 24 set, and then they have like different sets. Like they have one that's metallic, like a metallic color, and then they have like the bigger set that includes the metallics in it. I just wanted to try these out, so they sent me the 24 set, and the back of this one actually has all the colors. It has all the colors, the color names, and it actually does have, I guess these are the pigment info, and it has the light fastness right on here. Yeah, so the pigment number, the boxes here are the transparency, so how translucent they are or how opaque they are, and then of course the light fast, and this one goes up to 3. I don't know if that other color pencil is supposed to go up to 4, but I guess 3 is being better quality, whereas 1 is being less. And looking at this here, they all seem to be 3 except for Peach Red. That one is the only one that has a 2 plus sign light fastness, so that's pretty good. And so you get the set like this. It comes into this box, and I haven't actually opened these yet, so it's all still shrink wrapped in this. This set currently on their website is $24.99, which I think is a really, really good price, because when I was thinking about like trying out some gouache, to like going on Blick or yeah, I think I only went on Blick. I went on Blick, and like there's other online art supply stores that are based in the U.S., like Jerry's Artorama and Cheap Joe's Art Supplies, where you can get like discounted art supplies. You can buy them in a set, but I don't know, most sets for like really good watercolors, really good gouache, I mean, the colors are mostly like primaries and like the basic colors, and I kind of, you know me, I like different, not so much the basic colors. Like, I'm pretty sure they didn't have a you wouldn't find a lilac or this peach red in like one of those sets from like the really good gouache makers. So I was just kind of pulling tubes individually, and I think a lot of these tubes can go like up to like $8 a tube for a tube of gouache. And you know, like watercolors, you can buy a tube, and the tube can be like this tiny, like really small, and you spend like $8 on it. So this was really nice that I got like an assortment of colors here, and I'm pretty sure I can mix colors here. I'm trying to see what we have here. There is an ultramarine, and there is a cerulean. There is, we have a burnt umber. Of course, you have two whites, which is interesting. You have a titanium white and you have a regular white. I don't know what the difference is between the two. Probably they're the pigment color? No, the pigment is exactly the same, and they're both the same opaqueness, and they're both the same light fastness, so I don't know what the difference is between titanium white and white. I really don't know. But you get two of them. You get a gray, and you get a noir. I think noir is black. Is this a black? It is a black. It's a black. In school, I was always told that you never should buy black of anything, because for the most part, once you mix all the colors together, you get like a muddy, blackish kind of color. Yeah, but it does come with black, and it comes with a gray, which is very interesting. Okay, so yeah, burnt umber, you do get a viridian, you get a cerulean, you get ultramarine, you get a lemon yellow and a mid yellow. I don't know what mid yellow means, but hopefully you can easily mix colors with that. This is an orchard, and then you just get a vermilion for red. Oh no, you do get a crimson as well, and a burnt sienna, and a Prussian blue. So there's some good colors here that you can use to mix and make other colors. So that's really, really nice. So, but yeah, this one has sort of like the basic colors that you would get if you're gonna go buy paints, but it also comes with like the little funky colors like the peach red and the lilac. There is a light apricot. That's interesting. I really am curious to see what the difference is between this pale green and this sap green, because by the color on the label, they look exactly the same. Yeah, one of their pigments is just a little bit off, like a little bit different, but so I'm curious about that. Again, I'll probably do a separate video where I swatch these guys out and I paint something with them, but yeah, so this, you get 24 colors, and I'm just going to go over the colors again. So this one's titanium white, we have a lemon yellow, a mid yellow, a yellow ochre, a light apricot, a scarlet red, a vermilion red, burnt sienna, a crimson red, a rose, which is interesting, this rose color. It's like this one looks more like a warmer crimson red, and this one looks more like an alizarin crimson, but it's called rose. Peach red, a Prussian blue, an ultramarine blue, a lilac, sky blue, a cerulean, viridian green, a deep green, a sap green, a pale green, a burnt umber, nor, gray, and another white. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited to try these out as well and see how they work. And yeah, so I'm gonna do a separate video on. I'm gonna do a separate video showing you. The fuck. So yeah, I'm gonna do a separate video showing you these, like me working with these. And so that is the gouache, and I will leave a link to this set in the description box down below as well. Again, this was $24.99, which for 25 bucks and you get 24 colors, that is great. It's almost like it's basically $1 a tube almost. That's fantastic price wise. Hopefully they work really well. Again, for my needs, they probably will. But yeah, I'll just give you my thoughts on those when I do that separate video. And so the last thing that I have that they sent me was this watercolor paper pad, and this is the Expert Watercolor Pad 14 sheets. This is the one that is 100% cotton, and it's cold press. And oh, what this is, I haven't even opened this yet. This is how it comes packaged. Everything else came packaged the way it was, like the way it is, except the watercolor pencils. That actually came in a plastic wrap, and it was plastic wrap, and then it was in its own like box, like cardboard box. I just kind of took it all out because I wanted to look at them. So that was packaged really, really well, the watercolor pencils. And so this is the watercolor paper pad. It is glue bound, so you basically just kind of pull one of these guys off and there you go. It's 14 sheets. It's cold press, 100% cotton. This one, the size of this one, I believe this is the only size that you can get in this paper pad. It's 9 by 12, which I think for like if you're just doing your own little drawings at home, this is a great size. You can always cut it down if you want a smaller sheet. But I like to use watercolor paper when I make my journals, and I always go for a 9 by 12 because my journals are usually like an A5 size or a B6 size. So like this size is perfect for folding them in half and using them in the journals. And it is 300 GSM, 140 pounds. It's, I think most watercolor paper that is like a good weight is just the same weight. But yeah, so this one has a texture. It has a distinct texture, which I actually really like. I don't like, hard press watercolor paper, which is generally smoother. Like it's much smoother than cold press. I love texture. I love feeling the texture. Like I'm all about paper and I love feeling the texture of paper, especially when I make my journals. I love the paper to have some sort of tooth to it. And I personally really like the way it looks too. So like if you take a color pencil and you kind of draw on it, you'll see the tooth of the paper through the pigment, and I just love that. Like again, that's just a personal preference. It's more of like what's aesthetically pleasing to me. I know some people don't really like a toothy paper, but I think most people like cold press as opposed to hard press. I don't know. Just the colors just look way better on a cold press paper. But this one has a distinct texture. You can actually see it. The only other paper that I have that's watercolor is maybe like a Strathmore. Let's see if I can pull out a Strathmore watercolor. Yeah. I have this one, which is the 400 series Strathmore watercolor paper, this paper is, it's pretty much a student grade, I would say, paper. Like you can find it at like Michael's and Hobby Lobby and stuff like that. But yeah, so this one is a bit more smoother. Like it does have a texture because you can see it and you can sort of feel it, but it's much smoother than the Arteza paper here. This one has like a really distinct texture, and so that should be really fun to try out, having that texture there. It's not quite rough because I know there's some paper that come with like a rough texture. It's definitely cold press. It just has the texture more than this one, and it could be that, I mean, I don't know what Strathmore I'm pretty sure this is not like a 100% cotton paper pad, this Strathmore. I have no idea. But this one says it is, so that could be the difference. Too, is that it's cotton. The back is a bit more smoother, so the side definitely has more tooth than the back of the sheets. So I'm really excited to try this paper out. Again, I like using watercolor paper for my journals, like when I make my journals and stuff. And I usually go for certain papers based on how they feel. But I will test this out with the watercolor pencils, and I would definitely test them out with the gouache and see how the paper holds up. Because certain papers, like when I tend to use watercolors, I don't tend to use them very wet. I really, I'm very impatient when I make my art, so I like things to dry really quickly, and so when I watercolor, I don't tend to put a lot of water on my paper, so I don't have that problem with the paper, when it gets pulpy and stuff like that. So this paper pad is sort of fine with me, but honestly, just by feeling them, this feels a lot thicker, and again, it has that texture, so I'm really curious to see how this performs as opposed to a Strathmore, which is, what I sort of just pick up because I'm a hobbyist, and that's just the paper that is convenient for me to get, and it's relatively cheap. So this paper pad is currently on the website. It is $24.99, which is a pretty pricey, I think, for a paper pad. Again, they do have cheaper priced paper pads on their website. I think the only reason why you only get 14 sheets of this one and it's so much money is because of that 100% cotton factor. So yeah, so I'm really excited to try this out. I will leave a link down below to where you can find that paper pad, where you can find the gouache set, where you can find the watercolor pencils, and then of course the water brushes, and I'm really excited to try these out. I don't know how I'm going to approach the follow-up videos. I'm going to do 2 videos, I believe. I'm going to do one that's using the watercolor pencils with the water brushes on the watercolor paper, and then I'll do a separate one using the gouache with the water brushes on the watercolor paper, and we will see how they work. But so far, I'm really liking the quality, just like the visual, what I can see, the quality of the materials, how everything is presented. Like, I really love how the watercolor pencils come in this beautiful tin. I like how the information is either on the pencils or they're right on the tubes or the back of the packaging. So you have the color, the name, the artisan name of the color, the numbers. You have, especially on the gouache, you have the pigments number on it, and then you have the light fastness, and then of course the transparency. I really like how they have that information right on the packaging and right on the color pencils. That is a plus for me. So yeah, I'm just really excited to try these out and just sort of get back into, I guess, drawing, really. I'm definitely going to try them out when I do my journal with me's and my art journal spreads and stuff like that. I think that would be really exciting to try some new products in my art journals, but I definitely want to start getting back into drawing and stuff like that. So this, oh my god, I'm excited for it. So yeah, so that is what I have here, my little unboxing from Arteza. And again, I was kindly sent these to try out and give my opinion and my review on them, so those will be coming. But first impressions are good. I'm really hopeful and excited about these products. They're really good price, a really good price point. I just hope that they stand up to the performance. And yeah, I will leave all the links down below to where you can find these. Another disclaimer, those links will be affiliate links, so if you do end up purchasing anything through any of those links, I do get a small little commission fee. I get a small little fee, and that really helps me out with my channel and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely check out Arteza, and I just really hope you enjoyed this video and that you come back and see the other videos of me trying out these products. And yeah, hopefully you're all having a wonderful day, and thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.